Alright, it's Morbin time! Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix. My name is Chris Wong. That's right, it's time to get morbed! This is all about Morbius. I finally got to watch Morbius, and it's all because of the internet. Yeah, I totally, completely missed Morbius. I didn't get to watch this in theaters. In fact, I completely forgot this movie existed because the marketing didn't really sell me on anything. I didn't really care to watch it, even though it was a Marvel movie. And it kind of just came and went, and I completely forgot about it. But the internet reminded me and everybody else that this movie existed. In fact, the internet memes were going nuts. It's Morbin time. I'm morbed. They even played it on loop on a Twitch channel exclusively for this movie Morbius. They even did things like alter the Rotten Tomato scores for this and the audience scores for this for a movie that the critics and even the audience completely panned. I don't even know the box office was that great to begin with. But because I was so invested in the it's Morbin time, because it's morphin time, I decided to give this one a go. And no, I did not watch the Twitch stream. I went ahead and rented it for $3.99. So let's get to the movie. And by the way, it's probably going to have spoilers because this movie has been out for like a month or so already, and I'm just going to freely talk about it. This movie is about Dr. Michael Morbius, who has a blood disorder, and he has a friend named Milo. He has this lady doctor friend, I'm forgetting her name, and then there's these two detectives who try to chase them down, and they're completely useless. I totally forgot why they're in this movie, and they just pop up once in a while, and we're like, oh yeah, hey, look, it's them. But anyway, back to the blood disorder. They have this blood disorder, and Dr. Michael Morbius was able to do something and get some scientific bat cells or whatever into him, and he becomes this essentially a vampire. So instead of being this villainous character like he is in the Spider-Man comics and in the Spider-Man cartoons, no, he became like Venom in the Venom movies. They're not villains, they're heroes. They're heroes in this universe. Morbius gets framed for killing this nurse and all these bunch of cops, but it's actually Milo. Milo injected himself with the serum because he wants to heal his blood disorder just like Michael Morbius. And so they have this thing where they battle each other, which is probably the coolest part of this movie. There's these weird camera effects and CGI and this smoke hue thing and this echolocation thing. I don't know what's going on, but it's kind of cool to see them tackling and spinning around and flying around. And I think that's probably the best parts of the movie. But ultimately, Morbius defeats Milo and saves the day, saves the city. And at first, it looks like he loses the lady doctor, but at the end, she becomes a vampire just like him. Her eyes open, her eyes become red, and that pretty much sets up the sequel. The other thing that happens at the end of this movie is we do see Michael Keaton. They show the sky splitting open from Spider-Man No Way Home. Michael Keaton shows up in an empty cell as his Vulture character from Spider-Man Homecoming. And then after a bit of more credits, we get to see him talk to Morbius and apparently team up to fight Spider-Man? Which case is weird because in Spider-Man No Way Home, they kind of sent everybody back and there won't be a Spider-Man in that world, at least not the Tom Holland Spider-Man, maybe another Spider-Man. I mean, there's certainly a way to set up a sequel to this, just like how Venom had a sequel, although that's Venom versus Carnage, which is probably cooler than what Morbius is going to fight. I don't really know too much on Morbius history, but we do know the Lady Doctor friend is going to be a vampire too, so there's that. Maybe Morbius can fight Dracula in the next Morbius movie if the next Morbius movie actually happens. And maybe the next Morbius movie will happen because, I gotta thank the internet. I didn't think Sony did a good job of selling me to go watch this movie, but the internet did. And probably one of the biggest disappointments of this movie is that It's Morbin Time is not in the movie. I got suckered. I thought that line was in the movie, and that would have made this movie probably way more better than it is. It's not a bad movie. I think it's okay, and maybe me thinking it's not bad, it's because I saw the reviews were so bad. So I kind of went in thinking it's going to be terrible. But, it's fine. It's not the best thing in the world, but it's not the worst thing in the world. So if the internet could sell me on watching Morbius now, maybe the internet can sell the studio to make Morbius 2. Do we really want Morbius 2? I don't know. If they have a good story, then why not? But if they do make Morbius 2, please just put in It's Morbin Time. in the movie this time. Alright, have you seen Morbius the first time, or have you finally seen Morbius because the internet kinda sold the movie just like it did for me? Share your thoughts in the comments down below.